Alright, so got the rear bumper off, checking things out. And I need a little more light in here, but everything seems good except for that hole right there. Everything else down the way looks good. Lots of dirt. Now, let's see what we've got under here. Back here with the that right there. That's where the control arm mounts. Let's see if I can attach this light somehow out of the way. Uh-oh. Like all that old coating off. Well, it's structurally sound for the most part. I'm probably going to take the flux core wire welder, build that up right there. I'll spray it with a rust converter. I'll come back and then I'll try and bridge this a little better right here. Then smear some seam sealer on it and it'll get rubber undercoating along with the fender well. I see some goodies up there. Right there. That's a shield. I don't care about the shield. That's just a heat shield. Then we've got up there a little bit of pan seam rot, which I will fix from the inside. I'm going to come back and knock all the loose flake off and pull off what I can of the rubberized coating there and treat it, seal it up, stop it from rotting anymore. The band on that gas tank is going to have to get sprayed. It's still okay. There's a lot of surface rust. The paint's come off of it, so I'm going to treat it, throw some black paint on it to stop it from rusting more. There's the pan hard bar. That's bent. You're funny, Mimi. Yes, it's bent. It's bent on purpose. Okay, so... Ugh. Multiple layers there. I just need to grab some sandpaper, clean that up, treat it, paint it. I am going to spray some rush treatment down in there, and then I'm going to make a small patch for that. That's too big to seal. And this edge right here is starting to fall apart. I don't know how much I'm going to end up blowing away because it's so rusty. I mean, it is. I may end up having to come all the way around, and I may have to make probably one curve to go across, around. I'll try and plug weld it maybe, I don't know. Then we got over here, shed some light on it. That's where the mud flap and trim mounts. That is wobbly. Once again, see if I can get that plastic nutsert out of there. If not, then I'll probably put the metal one back in. I may have to scab over this section. The mounts are okay for everything under there, from what I remember seeing. Yep. That'll get sprayed and treated. And that's solid. That's solid there. This toe bracket here needs to probably needs to be replaced, but it is what it is. We've got a tow hook in the back, so I don't really care about that. I'm not going to cut it off, but it's extremely pitted. Soak it down, throw some paint on it, let it be. Oh, the little rust spot I saw up in the top is the brake line clip, and as you can see, I don't know if you can. Out of focus. There you go. It's not all the way through, but it is I don't know if it's questionable yet. Some of that is paint, some of it is just corrosion stuff stuck to it. I'm gonna sand it down and I'm gonna treat it, and I don't know if I may put some rubber hose around it. Problem with that is it holds water. That's why it rotted there, because it was holding probably ice and salt slush, and it started eating where that clip is. That one over there is pretty much okay. It's starting to rot around underneath it like that one is, but it's not anywhere as bad. Maybe replacing that whole line. I sure hope not, because that is a hard line that goes all the way to the front of the car. And I have to pull the gas tank down again. So I'm going to try to patch it as is and try to protect it. At least we don't have salt down here. Well, unless you leave it at the beach. But where I am, I'm about 15 minutes. 20 miles, 30 miles from the surf, so we don't have salt air right here, depending on how the wind blows. What else we've got under here? Let me zoom back. So I'm not as concerned about that falling through. I'm definitely going to put seam sealer on the other side. I'm going to see if I can pop that clip out. I prefer to protect it from this side and seal it with the clip and then pop the clip in. Because if you seal it from the other side, all it does is hold water up in the cracks of where you can't get to it. And the plastic will hold the water up against the metal, and it'll just rot out around wherever the seal is. So, not good. We got up in here. Typical rust on the bolts. That's fine. You can see a little rot back there. Let's slide back there. You're not looking. That's going to have to get a little bit of attention. It's part of the rail. If I can get up in there. Oh, that's the corner where it's rotted out. Up in the... Hit the record button. That's the hole that's up in the trunk. I can see. This thing is spitting dirt all over me as I'm hitting it. Actually, it's not that bad. It's surface rust. Once again, that needs to be, whoops. Make sure I knock out all those puckers to make sure there's not flake under it. Everything else looks all right back here. A little spot right there. I got those soaking. I'm going to pull that off, sandblast it. Well, probably sand it, treat it, prime it, and paint it. Now let's go to the other side, see what it's got in store for us. You got those sections we saw before. I'm gonna have to get this filler and vent pipe out of here. I don't have a choice. I'm gonna have to get all that out. I need to clean the bib anyway. Those hose clamps I think have seen better life. They're gonna have to be replaced for sure. That got soaked down with royal jelly. All that rest has been either eaten away or converted. I still have to seam seal all that. Let's see what the front controller mount looks like. No, it's fine. There's nothing there. Those pinch welds right there need to be treated. Just that spot right there looks bad. That's fine. Rear one looks fine too. A little bit of flake on that tow eye right there, but again, don't care. I'll knock it off, brush it, treat it, paint it. I mean, most of that looks pretty good. You can see where the right there, that rubber, that's where I sprayed the coating in. No, actually, you know what that is? That's the sonic barrier right there. So that's probably just going to get filled up with seam sealer. That I'm thinking I may need to do a little bridging there with the Hobart, if I can get in there and clean it up enough. I just need to fill that gap. Just need to make sure there's, hold on, sorry, I'm trying to look through the camera. I'm probably just going to try to maybe bridge it in a couple of places. I honestly don't know how well a patch is going to work right there. I'm just going to end up blowing through it, so I'll have to probably, this is thicker, I'll probably build up here, let it cool, and just keep going up and then try and blend it in enough to tie it back together. And then see what's behind there, because I can't get to it with the filler and vent hose there. So next thing we'll be pulling those off, and then we'll see what we can do about cleaning all that up, make it look a little better. And then we get to put all the nice painted parts back on. Get to put the brakes on. That one I have to rebuild, that caliper. The spring has had an extra coat of lacquer on it, and that hub and bearing setup has been cleaned and re-greased. There's no play in it, so it's good to go. Here is the axle tube, awaiting its turn. I've got to get some steel wool and clean it up a little bit. I had a little bit of overspray snuck underneath the masking.